Okay. Hi, Hussein. Good morning. We'll wait for another 2 minutes, then we can start our session. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll share my screen because today I'm not presenting with my laptop because unfortunately I came at the other place. I'll just share my screen. Just let me know how it is visible. I can download this file.
అవునా అంటే మళ్ళీ చూసుకోవచ్చా
Okay. Is it my screen visible? Anybody confirm, please?
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Let me unshare again. I'll share it back. Just give me a second, please. Okay, it is perfect. So, yeah, it's been almost 5 minutes. We can start our class. So, yesterday, I mean, sorry, day before yesterday, we are not able to complete this topic. So, we'll try to finish this first, then we can jump into today's topic, which is work permit system. So, in our last class, we have seen what is mean by the hot process and the cold process, and we have learned about how a foundry works, and we have seen a basic video to understand the complete melting, pouring, knockout process and cleaning process. So further, it goes for a cold activity in the sense for going for machining and surface finishing based on the customer requirement. So in this slide, what we it is on the screen, it is the a complete the process activities which will happen in a foundry. So basically, it starts from pattern making, then core shop. So core in the sense, as I mentioned. So whenever you are making, I'm taking an example of a valve. So there we have to give a provision. For example, if I'm manufacturing a steel pipe, so how steel pipe looks, it is in a circular hollow space. So when I need to create the hollow space within the pipe, so there I need a requirement of a core. So that's why we also have a core shop. Then we'll have a sand plant where that is the basic need of a foundry to make all these molds. Means it is in a required shape. Then we have a foundry activity where we do mold making by using the sand and resins. Then we'll have casting pouring. Once we melt the molten metal, sorry, we melt the scrap or any, we are taking the iron ore, or sometimes we'll get from the billets like in a metal bars. Then we'll pour into the molds. Then we'll do stripping, knockout, and decoring. Decoring in the sense to create a hollow space. As I take an example of pipe. So in between the pipe, to create the pipe space or hollow space, I will decore the core which I have inserted. Then furnace actions. So furnace actions will be again charging. Furnace actions is nothing but what and all we do in a furnace. Just a second. Any questions? I can. Okay. Okay. So furnace action is nothing but what and all activities we are doing at a furnace stage. In the sense to melt a metal. So there will charging. It is nothing but putting scrap inside the furnace, then melting, slagging, refining, tapping, and also furnace maintenance. These are the activities will happen. Then once you poured and we once the part is ready, then it will go to a fettling shop where they do extra operations before giving to the machine shop. It means for pouring a metal, they have created the risers that also we have seen in the last video. So the risers we use to pour the metal inside a mold. Once it is cooled, we have to cut the risers because those are unwanted parts from my product. That activities will happen in the fettling shop. In the fettling, basically, we can see gouging, we can see gas cutting, we can see welding as well, we can see grinding, and other so many activities will happen here. Moving further, so as we seen molding, core making, metal, I mean, melting of metal, knockout, and fettling and other miscellaneous activities. We'll see what are the specific hazards with respect to each process. So when I say mold preparation and sand activities, basically these are the hazards. One is health hazard due to sand and also a free silica, because there is a fine sand where they use resins. The frequent exposure of sand and also free silica leads to silicosis. Then silicones and also zircon, silicose, dust is in a sand handling and shakeout and also sealing operations. The shakeout is nothing but knockout activity where they do cleaning process of the sand and also other operations where there is a high chance of exposure to this silica dust. Irritation or dermatitis due to the phenolic resins and also thermosetting processes. So phenolic as a chemical, it is act as a resin like in a binder where we use this resin for making the loose sand into a hard shape, because if it is in loose sand, if you pour a metal, what will happen? It will just get into the metal. The sand also includes the mix with the metal. So that's why we use this resins to create the shape which we want. I'll once I complete the hazards, then I'll go to the safety measures. Okay. Then asthmatic symptoms due to methylene biphenyl isocyanate used to cold self-setting process. It is also a chemical where they use to setting the mold. Then skin and eye irritation due to the sodium silicate in the gas CO2 hardened molding process. The hardened molding process, what will happen? Once the mold is ready, we will take out the pattern so that we can see how my job look like. Then they will apply a heat. They will apply a coating. Then they will apply a heat so that it will get hardened. So in the sense, it will become hardened so that the sand will not mix with the molten metal. It means the sand inclusion will not be there in the material. Otherwise, what will happen again? I have to do grinding. I have to open my part. I mean metal chipping. I have to take out the sand particles. Fire risk due to the isopropyl alcohol sprays on the mold surface for better finish, and also dermatitis due to the such solvent. So this is the alcohol spray they will apply on the mold for surface finish. It is nothing but a fine layer over the mold. It is just a kind of a skin over the mold so that the sand inclusion will not happen. Sand inclusion is nothing but while pouring a metal, because of that hot condition, the sand, the surface, I mean the sand which is there on the surface, it should not include in my part. Strain to the lifting and shifting of heavy molding boxes. Molding boxes is nothing but where the mold is prepared, which is adjacent to the mold to hold the sand. Because some of the companies they pour mold into 2 tons, 3 tons, 4 tons of molten metal. So in such a case, it is become heavy. So where they use this mold boxes, especially they use metal boxes to hold the sand. Hazards of molding machines and also jolts. It is nothing but uh, for making these molds. What are the machines we are using against specific hazards of those machines? Okay, these are the hazards. Basically, exposure to the silica, exposure to the resins, exposure to the surface finishers, which means all these are chemicals, two chemicals and one silica. Then exposure to the lifting and shifting activities, and also molding machines, because for the heavy castings where they make I mean more than a ton or above, they use sand reclamation machines or sand dispensers, where a machine will come and it will just simply dump, like if you see in rice harvesting machines. So it will cut the take the rice from the field and it will pour into the trucks. The same way, it will pour the sand into the mold boxes, because 1 ton, 3 ton, and all manually it is impossible. It is a heavy activity. That's why they use this sand dispensers, and it will automatically have mixing of this resins, and we'll get the direct sand, which we can use for mold making. So how we can avoid the silica exposure? Again, it is an as usual local exhaust. So when I say local exhaust, it is particularly on where the dust or the emissions or the vapors are which are generating, so that it is an effective method of taking out my pollutants. Then system on machinized plant and also vacuum cleaning, even for exposure to silica dust. So we should have a vacuum cleaning process to avoid the free silica dust exposure apart from the local exhaust. Washing with hot water and medical attention on the ingestion barrier creams. So irritation of dermatitis. So how we can, so cleaning of the exposure body parts with hot water, and also if in case of any ingestion. What is mean by ingestion? Anybody? As previously, I think maybe. Sorry, I think I lost my network. What is mean by ingestion? Ingestion, inhalation, absorption, injection.
Ingestion means injecting something like any liquid, a fluid kind of getting into the any solid body.
Okay, then what is mean by injection? I think you have given answer for injection. No worries. So basically, when I say ingestion, it is in a two oral అంటే మనము నోటి ద్వారా తీసుకునేవి. So which you are going through your oral through the mouth, we call it as ingestion. These are the four ways a chemical can enter into human body. The first is easy way, inhalation, because without inhaling the air we can't sustain, we can't live more than maximum 4 minutes. So then next one is ingestion. So we need food. So definitely, if the food is contaminated, then definitely we'll get exposure. Ingestion, that is ingestion. One is inhalation through nostril tract, through nose to the inhalation process. And second one is ingestion. It is through the mouth. And third one is injection, as Karimullah mentioned, a chemical which is entering or which is injecting to the body. And fourth one, absorption. That is the fourth option, that is skin, due to the a direct exposure of a chemical. So if you're get contaminated or if you're getting contact with any chemical, what will happen? Slowly our skin will have very minute level holes. Like that is how the skin works. The skin is in a big barrier or a layer of protection for our complete body. It will act as a dual function. So whenever the temperature is high in the outside, so it starts giving cooling from inside. So basically it will generate a sweat so that your body temperature will be maintained in a certain level. So whenever it is in a cold weather
Sir,
conditions, yeah,
during breathing, there is also impact, no?
yeah, that is
Due
inhalation,
to
Lakshmi Das ji. That is
inhalation.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. When absorption, what will happen when the cold weather conditions, as we know, our body become hotter. So how does become as an heater? So due to the outside atmosphere is cold, internally our body knows that okay, the temperature is cold outside, I have to maintain certain temperature. So it will become hot. It works as a dual function. In summer it acts as an air conditioner. In winter it acts as a heater. That is the good functionality the god has given great gift to all humans. Okay, these are the four ways a chemical can enter. One is inhalation through nose, and second one is ingestion through mouth, and third one injection. It is a direct injection, like how we take the medicines in case of we fallen sick. Fourth one, absorption. It is happen through skin. Okay, I'll go back to the presentation again. Yeah, that's why whenever you're getting contacted or contaminated with any chemical, don't think that okay, it is less hazardous. Don't think that it is not hazardous. Don't think that okay, chalega. No, we don't know the consequences of chemical. Maybe some chemicals will react instantly, some chemicals will react on later point of time. So whenever you have get in contact with any chemical, it is an obvious requirement of immediately you have to flush out, you have to clean your tissues, right? I mean your body parts wherever you have a contamination. Then protective goggles, local exhaust ventilation while dealing with the hot sand resins and mixtures. Clean the storage vessel for 24 hours with 5% of sodium carbonate solutions. So this is for a cleaning of the vessels as well as protecting ourselves from the exposure of methyl biphenyl. Then skin and eye irritations. So again, emergency showers, eye wash bottles and barrier cream, and precautions against the CO2 cylinders. So I think hope you have know about emergency shower. So eye wash bottles. Have you seen these two things? Emergency shower.
So
Yep.
we have eye wash bottles, sir, in every battery room, but
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
no shower.
I have
Okay.
seen in
Great.
Amazon warehouses.
Okay. Great. So when I say emergency shower or safety shower or full body shower, all are same, different names of same application. So what will be the minimum water temperature we should maintain in the eye wash shower or body wash? Because sometimes it will get a combination of both eye wash and body wash. What is the minimum temperature? Because when I say combination of the eye wash and body wash, you use the same water for your complete body wash and you use the same water for eye wash as well. Guess. No, nobody's. If it is right or wrong, it is fine. You can guess what should be the minimum temperature of water it should be.
Below 30, sir.
Okay, good guess. You are close by.
Close to 25, sir, 25 degrees. Like we have to maintain that eye wash bottle in room temperature. We should not install that in outside of the premises because sun impact will be there. So at least 25 degrees we have
Okay.
to.
Yeah, even I am also not exactly remember, but the number is near to I think 32 degrees or 35 degrees. That is the maximum temperature of the water. It should not exceed. That's why wherever you are running your pipelines of your eye wash shower and body wash showers, it should not have any exposure to the direct sun. Because even if you see now the summer is started, if you are living any apartments or even your independent house, so first initial two buckets you will get very hot because the water is there in the pipeline. It has to be completely drained. Then only you will get a cold water which is there on the tank. So it will impact if you are using such a high temperature water on your eyes. So you just check. I think there is a standard also, IS standard itself. It is nearby. I think 32 or 35. I'm in between these two numbers. This is the temperature level of water we should maintain. And also, all these body wash showers and eye wash showers has to be checked once in a day because it will be, I mean, it is installed for emergency purposes, but we have to cross check. Either we can give this responsibility to the safety department or concerned department, I mean, who is for whom we have installed, at least they should take the responsibility to do check this because sometimes blockage will be there. Sometimes if you're not using for longer durations, maybe dust particles may come out because of it is on pressure. Okay, that has to be maintained. Yeah. Then fire retardant protective clothing, again fire proof clothing. Then we have organic vapor exposure and also no smoking. Because of solvents, we are not supposed to do or allow any smoking activity nearby. Then, due to the strain of lifting and shifting, so evidence of excessive weight lifting, so we can possibly go with the mechanization process. Then, hand mold machines. Here we can suggest for two hand control or dual safety squeeze controllers or knee valve jolt controls. So it is nothing but here we can provide the two hand push button control so that we can avoid any cut or press injuries. Then core making process. So inserting a core and sand binder into the mold. It is nothing but we have seen in the last video. He's used a rope to insert a core inside a mold. So where to create in a hollow space. So here the harmful fumes from the core baking oven. So core baking is nothing but once they make the core, they will put under oven to make it hard. Otherwise, what will happen? It will can break. So here we need a well ventilated chimney to take out the fumes which is generated from baking process. Baking process is nothing but we'll have ovens like you will have inside our own micro ovens. Same way, they use the big ovens to bake this course. And the phenomena occurs due to the dusting in the handling, finishing a course. Phenomenon consists this is also kind of dust exposure while handling with the finished course. So they'll apply some dust to clean the dust and all, dust mask and hand protection to avoid the abrasion. Then toxic and fire explosion hazard where amines are used. So again, ample of water washing and also triple F hood extractor to remove the fumes, and core blowing machines and also sand blows hand wrapping between core box and the RAM. So some of the companies they have in advanced technologies where they will using a pressure of air to create the cores within the mold itself. So that is the core blow machines, or some of the machines they use this sand and a pressure air to create the cores. So in that case, there is chance of trapping between the core boxes and the RAM. RAM is nothing but from the RAM they will blow the cores, and adjacent to it will have a core box. So here you should have a parting line with a dike seal and two hand controls for the operator, and also four hand control if two operators are working. So when I say one operator is there, we can suggest the two push buttons. When it is a four man or is working, a two man is working on there, so we can suggest the four push button control so that there will not be any intervention with the activity. That is where I have explained, I think previously, when I was working in one of the company. I mean, prior to my joining, this incident has happened. Then later point of time, they have installed. Previously, it is in a, I think, one hand control. Then later they have inserted. I mean, implemented two hand push button control. Then further, they have implemented a photo electric beam. So in case of any intervention happens while the machine is in action, so if somebody is interacting that photoelectric beam, automatically it's shut down. It is implemented in the automobile industry where they make the body parts of different vehicles. This kind of press machines. Then melting and pouring. So it is the major principal activity. work near Kokla furnace, toxic effect of the carbon monoxide. So working on near the furnaces, then repair work in the furnace also is a big hazard, and tapping, which is nothing but transferring molten metal into the ladle on radiation. Health hazard due to the acrolein, aluminum, and also anatomy, beryllium, chromium, fluorides, iron oxide fumes, dust, lead, and magnesium and manganese. These are the exposure of metal fumes. One is breathing operators to be kept ready for emergency work under the supervision. Natural and mechanical ventilation should be there. If you are working near the furnaces, and repair work, safety helmet, safety belt, and also while working at height and depth areas. So if it is depth is more than 4 or 5 feet, so it is better to check the gases as well. Then tapping, which is nothing but dumping of molten metal into the ladle. So ladle is nothing but a bucket kind of thing where they carry this molten metal and to pour into the molds. Here we have to have Google PPEs and respiratory sand floor. So to absorb the or to uh, avoid the running of liquid metal. Sometimes what will happen in case of the cranes or the ladle is not properly handled, there is a chance of fall off the ladles. Then the molten metal can spread like anything. So that's why they use here sand, a dry sand, as a uh, spill controller. Okay, spill cleaning, mechanical handling of ladling, dry and sand chills or hot runouts. Hot runouts is nothing but again there are the provisions to pour a metal into the molds. Then local exhaust ventilation to the exposure of these fumes, as I mentioned yesterday. Here they use the exhaust local exhaust hood over the furnace, so that whenever the fumes are generated, so it will automatically sucks out, it will take it out. Then knockout area, so here the major hazard is especially high noise, because we uh, take out the excess sand which is there in the outside. We use here a big vibrators to create an impact, to loosen the parts or the sand which is around the uh, part which we have created. Then high noise 90 dB, so more than 90 dB as well. Reduce the noise or use any earplugs or muffs. Hard sand, dust, metals being separated, so eye protection and other PPEs are necessary. Even though it is metal is hardened, the adjacent sand will have absorbed certain temperatures. It will be in hot condition, so we should have necessary PPE to avoid the hot burns. And crushing, breaking of hands, feet, etc. So because of it, the vibrator, or sometimes we use other equipments to take out the sand, we should take care of our hands and legs because of crushing or any falling of the sand bodies. I mean, because it has become hard, it will break as big parts. Like when you do blasting of uh, any big rock, it will break into pieces. So we should be careful. Dust hazard near knockout grills. So find water spray mist. So workout knockout grill in the sense, there it is a vibrator where over the vibrator we keep this part and we can do a shaking activity. I think in the continuation I'll show in a small video so that you'll understand this knockout activity. Even we have seen in the last video, once he pour the metal, he has given certain time for curing. After the curing, he has taken out the sand which is adjacent to the part. That is knockout activity. We'll see in industry scale level also. Okay. Then fettling activity. So as I mentioned here also, noise on metal hammers of knocking. Then throwing fragments of hot metal. Then noise from rubbing the barrels. Then pneumococcosis due to the sand blasting. This is exposure to the sand dust, and hazards of abrasion, polishing, and buffing equipments. So these are the all rotating equipments where we used to have finishing activities on our product. Dusting from dry abrasive wheels. This is the metal dust, flying objects from cleaning, and also chipping. So these are the various hazards we can expose in the fettling shop. Okay. So here the replacement of hammers by rubber cover hammers. So knocking out, that is the one solution we can give. Then for throwing fragments of hot metals, eye and face protection, noise from rubbing barrels. So noise enclosures to the barrel with the local exhaust ventilation, so that we can avoid the noise exposure, and also the dust which is generated, it can take it out from the immediate machinery. So nowadays the sandblasting is banned. So everybody is using steel shot blasting, that is enclosed blasting. Here also we should have the dust extraction system, because in the during the blasting it is nothing but surface finishing. Here also we used to have dust extraction system. Then okay, sorry, I think